And the track up, that same. 26 feet
Yes,
long,
let me get
and
it.
they had over 20 feet of track.
So that was the.
No, I'm not complaining, I'm just saying, this is
It's
a
low
benefit.
for the second.
All right, call this meeting to order.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the pledge here.
After everybody here.
Right.
Charlie.
Yes.
Joan. Present. Scott.
Yes.
Nothing in the-
Please stand for the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anybody like privilege of the floor?
I will do this. I gave you, at the last meeting, I gave you a copy of the reports that I do. I do that for Sterling and, for 38 and West Creek.
Yeah.
And I'd like to email that report every month. Okay?
Email it?
I'll email it to you and you can put it into the minutes. Okay, it seems to work out pretty good. It gives about something more to do. She types some of these out for me, so.
You're still gonna come to the meeting?
Oh, no,
Okay.
yeah, sure. Well, look, I'm here tonight, you know?
But at least I can hand it out, distribute it between the board members.
Yeah, I'll send you the copy and then you can print it out.
Okay, no
This
problem.
is
The
what
Friday before, please.
Oh, yeah, you'll get it, yeah. I think for that, well, I cheat a little bit with the other two, they let me send it in one, I don't want, okay. You'll get it, I'll send it the same time I send it to Fairhaven and Red Creek.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And it'll always be the month, like, the one you'll get this coming month will be the month of December, the things that we did
Can
there.
you tell us like who won the most of bunco and stuff?
Yeah, right. And how many got arrested playing bunco? We had a good one there one day, and I know this is meeting is going on, but we were sitting there, you know, we always had the little dishes of money right there. We go, look at it, the cops pull up, we gotta hide this money. Some of them, one day, a trooper did pull up, out front of his lights going, you know. Hide the money, hide the
Someone
money.
called.
Yeah. But that's just silly things. Yeah, they took me away, they got me bad. I'm sorry about that.
That's fine, that's good. New business,
The only thing I have is the time sheet for the highwayman, that the bookkeeper would like a resolution.
okay?
The other item, we do have the contracts for the webmaster, which she did not change her fees. Carol's Cleaning did not change her fees. Marta Law Firm did not change their fees. Dog Control, we got a hold of them today, and they're probably gonna retire.
Oh, really? By the end of the year, or,
He said definitely this year we'll have a dog catcher, but
okay. So we're good for this year, though, but we need to start looking before the
We
year's
need to
over,
start looking,
instead of next January.
yeah,
Okay.
what are our options, Lisa?
that threw me under a loop, I have no idea.
How do we make out when we get our own dog catcher?
Oh, no,
No? Okay, I-
Bill Crane was the supervisor,
No, no,
and we're being told, and you have to heat the dog kennel. Oh, yeah,
oh, it's.
and that
it's
was
a
what,
lot.
20 years ago or so? I'm like,
7,
huh?
So much. for
Wow.
the dog.
27 years ago, yeah.
I wonder if the guy over on,
Heated. The doghouse is heated now.
Victory Street. Yeah, he doesn't care now, Beth throws him in the doghouse. He's like, my doghouse ain't heated.
It's gonna be TV.
So
They
that's
have
what
the
we
kennel
should
over
just,
there,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
No, we
so
want to
good heads
contract
up.
out,
Right.
yeah,
We wanna
because then we're
contract that.
I wonder
responsible
if he does
for
that type of
the
thing,
dogs,
yeah.
we're responsible for workers' comp for the
Okay.
person, and
Right,
I just didn't know why
yeah.
we didn't do that.
And we can visit it if you like, but obviously, the last time we were like, oh, that backfired. That was
I think it
pricey.
did. Yeah, I think it. See, I'm
Right.
sure, see what the neighbor wants, who they use and stuff.
Right, right.
I've got one thing. I don't know if you guys, if you weren't, I got an email late in the day and then a call from Kevin Cox. We got a email from, Kevin was emailed from Rich Pelmer. In regards to having, he mentioned at our last meeting, we wanted to have executive session
correct.
with the ZBA.
And I suggested that our attorney.
Kevin,
be
yeah, after the
present.
meeting,
Right.
I had spoken to Kevin. Kevin did not agree with that. He said he says, I represent the town in this case. He said,
Oh,
the ZBA
oh,
actually has no
Hmm.
dog in the fight, so to say.
okay,
Because
What?
has no dog, the ZBA is not involved. This is between
okay,
the town board of Sterling.
Okay.
Because he was issued a citation from the CEO and Turtle Cove. So he said that the ZBA really at this point has no bearing on this at all. This is
Okay.
between, it's gone to court. It's
right,
out of our hands. It's what
right,
we determined with
Right.
Kevin Cox, like we discussed in the last meeting.
correct,
Rich had asked Kevin if they should have a meeting, the ZBA should plan a meeting for the same night as our meeting, January 23rd.
Yeah.
Right.
January 23rd,
right,
so that the whole ZBA could come into executive session with the town board. Because otherwise, if we go into executive session, the entire ZBA can't come. Because if more than two of them come, there's a quorum.
Right.
They're in a meeting.
And
Kevin called me tonight, and he said that, he's like, really, they have no, if you wanna meet with one or two of the ZBA members, he says, that's fine. He says,
right,
I don't wanna be involved because I'm representing the town in this case, so.
right,
So he was gonna email Rich back. I'll check, if you guys weren't included on that, I'll forward that
okay,
to the rest of the board members, and I'll forward you a copy, Lisa, so you got it, but that's where that's at. I think, we need to definitely probably invite Rich to executive session, Rich and maybe one of the other board members to the next meeting, but this is getting blown way out of proportion. I think it just needs to go to the court, let the court settle this.
I would defer to our attorney's recommendation.
Yeah,
on
that's what
this,
he
Scott.
told
I
me.
really.
No,
would.
that's what he had told me tonight.
Right.
He says, he was gonna write a response and I'll make sure that gets forwarded. to
Okay.
everybody, too. But just if you guys get that email,
Okay,
that's what that's about. That's where we are with that.
Um,
That probably is more old business than new business.
and that brings up a question that we had talked about, how much, I guess, responsibility does the ZBA use for, Kevin Cox, like?
And that's,
And is that somewhere in the ZBA, description or something like that? It's just, we had, there was mention
there was,
of some things that were being used, who has responsibility of using Kevin Cox, and so that's just something maybe we should,
I think we should visit that, especially the cost factor of it, because
exactly.
we're in the thousands of dollars in fees to Kevin Cox for that particular
And,
issue.
yeah.
with-
to my, oh, I'm sorry,
Well, just, if we're in the thousands of dollars, and we don't want it to go any further, but I just don't want any more problems, so
Right.
do we need to set parameters, or do things need to be deferred to the town board, and then we can talk to Kevin Cox?
Have a comment maybe to the ZBA that at this point, it's,
to my knowledge, we don't have guidelines with utilizing
we had visited that before with the whole
sewer,
sewer law thing,
right,
because that kind of got,
right,
he kind of, the
right,
person kind of got, okay, well, it went to like $5,000 or $6,000 or something,
correct,
without 10,000.
without the
Without-
town board's authority,
Right, so there's a difference
So-
between, Joan, give Kevin a call and ask him about
right,
that.
and
Sit down and
$10,000
spend
later.
$100 with him for the law, so I
Yeah.
think that's something we should visit.
For any.
I think it should be for the board.
Yeah.
Any individual person, we should have some guidelines as to what we do.
Can't get out of hand in a hurry.
And, I'm just as guilty of it as anybody, but, we've got AOT too, that's an awesome resource for a lot of these questions that, it's just a lot easier, because everybody's got a personal relationship with Kevin. to pick them
Right.
up
Right,
And call Kevin, but it gets expensive, if you look at our budget, and what we spend on that, that could probably be trimmed a little bit. On certain things.
why not?
have a figure or have the ZBA and planning board come to the town board and say, we need to talk to Kevin because of ABC.
Right.
Instead of just picking up the phone.
Or it has to come to the
Because
board.
Then we
I
can
know
budget it.
between us,
If they come up with an estimate of per year, how much they think they would use legal advice, that'd be great, and we could budget for it, but just
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
is-
And maybe you reiterate to them too, that they've got, they have access to Association of Towns. As planning board members and ZBA members and stuff. You know, maybe point them in that direction.
And give them the phone number
Yeah,
for the AOT as
Right.
well.
Yeah,
the
sure.
legal
Yeah.
division,
Yep.
So that they really.
to give them another avenue.
Right, right.
When
That's
there
a
are
good
simple
starting
questions,
point,
yeah.
if it's kind of a broad, but if it's very specific, and they won't
Yeah.
give
It might,
opinions on it. They
No,
won't
they'll
act,
give-
AOT won't act,
But
as-
there might
they'll give you some ideas, but the
interpretation
legal,
of the law or
right, exactly.
guidelines, basically.
Right, right, yeah. I used to go to them a lot, first of all, and then I go to the attorney.
well, we are at the organizational meeting, would it be, I mean, maybe this is jumping the gun, but would it be maybe making a committee for deferment of legal questions, either AOT or through Kevin?
We could, or, we've got a lot of committees, is there a committee we could?
I would
put
say,
into
let's
that?
not make a decision.
No,
on it.
I'm
No.
just, yeah, like I said,
Right.
I
I
just
would-
kind
yeah.
of jumping the gun on it, but
Right,
maybe to have two people or some, you know, or maybe assign that responsibility to an existing committee
Mhm.
to have
Sure.
them, like, be the ones that, okay, well, or just have the responsibility of emailing the rest of the town board.
We could make a committee whenever, if we decide, or see what
Right.
committee we already have with necessary.
right, right.
No,
It's
kind of work a little bit, maybe
Yeah,
that committee could go to the planning board meeting, the ZBA meeting.
yeah, or have
The different-
communication
yeah.
with them.
Yeah, okay.
and then
Yeah, I
they
think
might
it's-
decide on, yes, you're gonna need legal counsel on that question,
Right,
so go ahead.
or
you know,
here's the
Or
AOT.
here's AOT's number,
Right. Just, you know, just trying to think of like, instead of having an email sent to all of us and waiting for all of us to respond.
Right,
Would
oh,
it
you're
be-
thinking, okay, you're thinking
know.
for the individual cases.
Yeah, like ZBA and then like, there's a lot of things that people have called, you know, or, you know, even if you had a question, or like you said, we all kind of call up Kevin, so instead of that, having this committee be like, call AOT, or no, we'll talk to Kevin or something. I don't know, I'm just
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
troubleshooting.
Yeah.
and How, I don't know.
The one thing I'll put out there is if we say, okay, it'll have to be with the authority of the town board, we meet once a month.
Right.
And if they need to get information immediately from the attorney, that can stifle that.
yeah,
and
but
that's
if
not-
you have a committee though, the committee can kind of determine that, yes, this is important, this, or, no, you're creating a sewer law that hasn't been approved by the town board, let's go to the town board with that first.
Right, right,
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to have something in place that would kind of
right. Some
filter,
guidelines.
filter
yeah.
some of the
Right.
unnecessary,
Or,
whatever, something we can
Do
resolve
they-
ourselves.
do they have a budget now? Like the planning board, I know they've got to
They have a budget, they have a
budget for
contractual,
Contractual.
but that falls under attorney, under the B count.
Correct.
On the bill for the attorney, it will say,
Right,
Be whatever.
no,
So
it
it's-
will say, let's say Turtle Cove,
Yeah,
and it'll say, spoke to ABC and so on and so forth, and I put it under B because that's zoning. If it's, you call them about, let's say,
Yeah,
they say
no.
the employee handbook or something, I know to put that under A,
right,
but he'll have it in his,
but does it come out of their B
no,
contractual, it comes out of the general?
it comes out of B attorney.
Right.
right. It's not
They
broken
don't
down
have
into planning
They
board.
don't
Right,
have,
It's
they
not,
only
That's-
have,
yeah,
right.
engineering.
Right.
We
Correct,
did something
right.
for engineering.
Right.
So it's all coming out of the B,
Correct.
okay. Looking forward to, well, all
right.
right. Anything else? All right, resolutions.
I would set
Do all
to
this at one,
remove the highway probationary,
Probationary.
any other ones?
I would defer to Dan. Dan, do we have highway labor seasonal part-time?
Queen guys,
That's what the wing guys are under?
We are part-time. You have to be careful with civil service. Remember, we got into this.
Right,
a
but
while
Pat
back.
had called me out on that. We only have 2 positions now.
That are
Did she
seasonal.
discuss that with you or
Not today,
no?
no. I mean, we briefly talked about this when I
Right.
handed in timesheets, but right
Are
now,
you-
so that there was. In years past, we had seasonal, where you'd bring in someone for 6 months for winter
Mhm.
or summer. Right now, everything, as I understand it, is part-time. And actually, if you look at our employee handbook, there's another definition in there, but it's counter to the civil service labeling, as I understand it, and it's called temporary help. So part-time's like, I guarantee you 20 hours a week,
Right.
right? Temporary is, like, you get 5 hours this week, next
Whatever,
week you
yeah.
get 15 hours.
Yeah.
So the terminology is a little bit misleading, but right now, as I understand it, Scott, we're all under part-time,
Alright.
for the part-time help,
But we do not have a highway probationary.
not that I,
Okay, so we're good with the rest of them. All right, so salaries to be set for 2023. Can I get a resolution to set the assessor?
you wanna read them all?
You want me to read them all or no? Does anybody need me to read them all?
No.
I don't.
Can I get a motion for a resolution to set the salaries for 2023 as listed in the chart?
I'll make that resolution.
I'll second it.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes, Scott.
Yes. I get a motion to make the appointments as listed in the chart below.
For the appointments. Did you say appointments?
Yeah,
Oh,
did I? Thought I did.
yes, okay. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes,
Joe.
Yes, Scott.
Yes,
Committees, I wasn't sure,
okay.
because we had the wildlife protection and the LWRP, I'm not sure, so I left them in.
Are we done with the wellhead protection, Charlie?
I believe so at this point.
The one thing before we cross it off though, is Steve Winkley. And I'm not sure if we're going anywhere with that because he retired, but he originally was,
They retired?
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Yeah, he
he's
said
retired
that
in
at the
last
January.
meeting.
He said at the last meeting, yeah, in
Right.
January.
Yeah.
Right, but anyway, regardless, his intent had been to work with the Drinking Water Source Protection Plan 2, which is the funding that allowed him to work on the Wildlife Protection Overlay District. And I can remember, he said more than once, he saw the groups as possible stakeholders in that process. Are you familiar with the
I am,
plan?
yeah.
Right, so remember the New York State Department of Health, DEC, and a couple of others, with the blessings of New York State, put together this plan or offering for communities, municipalities to put in place a plan to protect their water, their drinking water, okay? And so Steve Winkley was in a position to walk through that process, which includes comprehensive plan, zoning, stakeholder groups, et cetera. And I know he referenced using those pre-existing as possible stakeholders. That would be one argument I would have. And the other, and I'm gonna put it out right now, is, and it was brought to my attention, that the Village of Red Creek water source, or one of the water sources, is a well which is located outside of the village of Red Creek in the town of Sterling. Did
I've
you
been
know
saying
that?
this for 3 years. and
Okay,
Nobody
so-
listens to what I ever say.
Well, I listened
I
to
mean,
it, but
this
our
is
high,
what-
my high priority as a zoning
Well-
commission was the villages, because the village was asking, reaching out to the town,
Right.
saying, will you please put regulations in place to protect our drinking water? Thus, that became a high priority. To my knowledge, the village of Red Creek has not approached the town of Sterling and said the same. But is it something we may want to visit? Once again, there's an argument for keeping the Wellhead Protection Committee in place, even if it's inactive. But anticipating that might be something we'd be looking
Well, I
at.
think if we're gonna look at, to answer the Red Creek question, I think that would have to have stakeholders in Red Creek, not Fairhaven. So I think it would have to be a different committee. The water source protection thing,
Okay,
we had applied for that, but didn't get into the program or whatever. That was right back when I took over, or whatever. There was, I don't know if you had applied or Gene Smith had applied, but they said we didn't meet the criteria or something. So I
really,
don't
that
know if that's-
surprises me. Yeah, I never
Um,
picked up on that from Steve Winkley.
that was something that
Huh.
somebody applied for and that it was declined or something, or we didn't meet their.
But the
criteria.
argument that you made about Wellhead Protection Committee, you're right, the configuration is with people from, citizens from
Yeah, I would think that
Fairhaven.
would be,
So, okay, and that's.
I would think if we
legitimate.
did that, I think
Right.
that would be Red
Right.
Creek Welsh.
Right.
Red
So-
Creek.
Yeah, they should definitely have
Right,
the bull by the
Oh,
horns
yeah.
on that one.
so
So I mean,
anyway,
we could, there again, we
I'm not
could
saying we couldn't
reinvent it,
reinvent it,
advice for what we experienced,
right.
but.
start a different committee.
Yeah, we
after
should
that.
have-
Okay.
But
Okay,
you
so we're
see what I'm
taking that out.
saying?
Yeah,
That
Taking
even
that
though you
one
say,
out.
okay, maybe we'll get rid of it, but, oh, you know what?
Right.
It's a possibility, it's the village of Red Creek.
and I haven't
So,
heard,
Yes,
I've talked to the water guy
Right.
there, and I haven't heard any
right.
information where they sound concerned about it.
What about LWRP?
But that's the time to deal with it. That's being proactive. That's what has not happened in many communities around the United States. We have actually, our little community has been proactive about protecting that drinking water. And that's not the case in all the communities. Superman's not coming.
Well,
you get
what
a
started
statement-
that was trying to keep one man out of there, so that's, I don't wanna argue about that, I asked us, so.
Okay, but can I
That's-
just qualify that? Okay,
Yeah.
30 years ago, Stearns and Wheeler did a report, 1990, saying it needs to have regulations protecting it. So it didn't just, it's been an ongoing
Right,
thing. I mean, that's why.
It sat dormant for a long time, and then somebody poked the nest and woke the bear up.
Could be, if that's how you choose to look
Okay, are we
at
keeping
it.
LWRP?
Right.
I mean, I don't know, I'm just asking.
I'm,
Oh, we got some money. The,
Right.
Carrie
they,
just said, we,
right, got all the, everything that she'd asked for, but I don't know, are they done meeting, or he's not here,
He's not. in-
and I thought,
Right.
yeah, he said he lost his voice and stuff, so.
Yeah.
He was
We did have a
gonna
meeting.
bow out,
and talked about dissolving the group, thinking our work was done in Sterling, but now under these new events at this well in Red Creek is actually in the town of Sterling.
yeah, but I think that would be a different committee, like we said.
I would think it should
Right,
be.
so-
there's
and that
stakeholders,
makes sense.
Okay, so we're taking that one out.
The
but-
LWRP is, so that's the group that met with Kerry Pulliger to get the funding. I almost thought they were done, right?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I
But
know
they had
that,
their last meeting.
right,
and-
apparently we were approved, Cuyahoga County was approved for 2 projects. And one is the
The trail.
feasibility study of doing a community trail.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know, are they still,
I don't know,
Lee told me that he still wanted to be on that committee, so
leave it,
Then leave it and
yeah, if they meet, they meet, if they don't, we can dissolve later,
March,
but,
they
once
say, okay,
they-
we're done, then we take it out.
right. I don't know if they're gonna keep meeting as the
right,
project goes on or not.
Okay, so
Okay.
the only one we're taking out is
Well,
wellhead
had
protection.
protection.
Okay.
Everybody else is good with, everything else? Get a motion to accept the appointments as so listed, or I'm sorry, the committees as so listed with the exception of the Wellhead Protection Committee.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes,
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. I get a motion to make the town of Sterling's official regular board meetings the third Monday of the month at 7 p.m. at the town hall.
keep it simple. I'll make. Second that.
Well, you made the motion.
Did you make the motion?
No, you did.
Oh, I make
I'll
that.
second it.
Okay. Karen,
Just wait
Yeah.
for Sunday.
Charlie,
Yes.
Do it all, Charlie.
Scott.
yes,
Yes,
recognizing that we've already set the
right, we're gonna,
Can't.
meetings
Right.
through the rest of the year, and they are not all on the third
But we'll-
Monday, but it'll be.
we'll address that at
advertised.
the meeting.
Correct, the meeting before, so there's an advertisement, so people are informed.
Right,
Okay. Get a motion to make the town of Sterling's official newspaper, the Lake Shore News.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes,
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. I get a motion to make the town of Sterling's official bank, the Savannah Bank of Fairhaven, and New York class for investment.
Is that the correct term?
For, I would say for depositing and savings.
Okay, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
oh,
Yep. For depositing, depository. And
I don't
savings.
have my information that
And-
describes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with investing before I would, I'd include investing for sure, that. to me
For
is-
investing, common depository and saving. Does
Sure,
that sound better?
right.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes,
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. Been doing Monday and Thursdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Oh, yes.
oh, oops,
Yeah,
good
it
catch.
used to be
Yeah,
Yeah. So code enforcement's Tuesdays and
Tuesdays and
Thursdays.
Thursdays.
Yeah.
Second and fourth Wednesday of the month. Mondays and Thursdays for the assessor, town clerk, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Wednesday. Highways, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 to 4. Yep, okay, got it.
I get a motion to establish the hours as listed below with a correction of code enforcement, Tuesday and Thursday, 9 to 12.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
yes,
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. Can I make a motion for the town of Sterling retain membership with the Association of Towns?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes,
Joan,
yes,
Scott.
Yes.
I didn't do the employee handbook because we need to review that.
So do we,
We just passed.
Pass by it?
Yeah,
okay, can I get a motion to make set the mileage rate at 0.625 cents a mile as per the IRS mileage rates?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
yes,
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. Can I get a motion for attendance and reimbursement of the conference registration and travel costs to be reimbursed ground transportation rate?
can we add, room as well
That's fine.
somehow?
Attendance and reimbursement of conferences. How about
Registration.
conferences, comma, registration and travel costs.
And travel costs to be.
including. board.
Including
Including board.
board, yeah, including room or board.
That would fall under
Okay, so where do you want
reimbursement.
Can you read that, please?
Attendance and reimbursement of the conference, registration and travel costs to be reimbursed at ground transportation rate. I would put it in the middle. Attendance and reimbursement of the conference, registration and registration,
Board.
comma, rooms and travel costs. Does that make sense, Joan?
No, what
No?
you just said, I have to read it
Okay, I'm
again. I was
sorry.
trying to keep up with your comments there. Been reading.
Okay, attendance and reimbursement of the conference,
Yeah.
registration, rooms, and
Oh,
travel
okay.
costs to
So
be
is it meant to
reimbursed.
be conference registration or conferences?
Conference registration,
Okay.
and then rooms,
It was meant conference, comma, registration, comma,
okay, we can do, all right,
which to me, that meant conferences rooms.
that's what I would get.
But however you wanna do it, just so. we
Yeah,
know.
let's get rooms in there.
Okay.
Requesting it.
So it'll be
Attendance.
conference,
Conference, comma, registration, comma,
rooms.
rooms, and travel costs.
Okay. Who made that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes,
Joan,
Yeah,
Scott.
Yes,
And I increased this one, $25.
to 125.
No.
Oh, you did increase it.
I did increase
Okay.
it.
Can I get a motion for a $100 day allotment for food at the Association of Towns Annual Conference in New York City.
is that per person or is that per, just trying to,
No, per
per
person.
person.
okay, it didn't say that, so just,
You want that in there?
I think it should, otherwise people would, like I would.
Everybody has
I
to
would've
share.
thought, like, all right.
Karen's like, you stay home, Scott. All three of us can't eat on $100 in New York City.
I claim one.
That's like a pizza pie and a soda.
Actually, you can get a pizza for $6 down there.
Can you?
Yes,
No.
we did when we were there. My husband and I got a large every day because we were so poor. We were like, we're gonna budget.
Okay.
I definitely.
I expect you guys to hold to
All
that.
right.
It
$6
was,
pizza.
yeah,
That's
we
it.
were over pizza by the time we got home.
Definitely plain.
Just like,
So we
oh,
make
it
that
was
motion?
a scary place.
I'll make that motion.
Go ahead, I'll second it,
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Can I give you a little history lesson here?
No, not till after the meeting.
Okay,
We got-
30
Not till after the
seconds,
meeting.
no, just while it's in my mind, 30 seconds. So it used to be, people would buy their meals, get receipts, come to the town and ask for reimbursement for the meals. What happened is, for starters, if you were a group of people, some place in New York City said, we don't do individual receipts, blah, blah, blah. So that's how we ended up with just what seemed to be a reasonable flat fee.
So if you said donate with somebody in a different town or something, they want to break it up.
Right,
makes
yes,
And quite frankly, $75 really didn't cut it most of the time.
yeah.
A day.
Tracy can be.
Yep,
Anyway.
can I get a motion to establish petty cash for town clerk for $50 and tax collector for $150.
I'll make that motion.
Is that enough penny
It
can?
is, they
Okay.
ask it every year.
Sorry.
You
I'll
understand
second
that?
She's not very petty.
it.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yeah,
Joan,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes. I get a motion to set the return check fee at $20.
Is that,
You cannot do any
Regulated.
more than that.
yeah, I was gonna say, usually say that's the max.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it,
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
yes.
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. Doesn't the bank charge you like $35 for a bounce check?
We'll talk about it later.
Can I get a motion for delinquent and duplicate tax fee at $2?
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, I'll second it,
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
yes.
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. I get a motion for town delegate, to be Joan Kelly, that for Association of Towns.
right, on Wednesday morning, they have the annual meeting.
I'll make that motion,
I'll second it.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
yes.
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. Can I get a motion that the premium amount to be reimbursed for the Medicare eligible retirees at what the retiree pays up to $125 per month?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that,
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
yes.
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. Can I get a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract for Carol's cleaning service?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second,
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
yes.
Joan,
yes.
Scott.
Yes.
We'll take out the dog protection.
Oh, scamping.
Are we even-
Scamping.
So we're not gonna sign the contract with them?
We don't have one yet.
Okay.
He hasn't given us one.
Right.
That's,
So cross it off for now.
cross it off.
Yeah, okay. Can I get a motion to sign the contract for scamping?
Oh, I misunderstood that. Okay, oops. Okay.
Yep.
So keep the, scratch this.
Scratch that one, and
I'm
we're doing
sorry.
number 20 now. Yep,
Okay.
six gap in.
I'll put that in your mailbox.
Okay.
I forgot it in the
Alright.
packet, but we need motion on that one.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that, please.
Karen,
Yes,
Charlie,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes. I get a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the contract with Webmaster.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Karen,
Yes,
Charlie,
Yes.
Joan,
yes,
Scott.
Yes. And I get a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the contract with Camardo Law Firm.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes.
You can take out computer outlet noise.
Okay.
you were taking out because,
Excuse me?
Because we haven't got one yet.
No,
okay,
I'm sure we will, but.
Yeah.
It just didn't come.
All right.
Then we have the fee schedule.
What have we changed? Everything is all-
What we usually do is let the planning board, if the code enforcement feels like, you know, $25 for whatever is too cheap, we need to go a little bit higher. He would let us know, and then we take it to the planning board, they would
And then we
review
change
it,
Okay.
put their thoughts in, look at other towns, see what
And
they're
change it,
charging,
But as of now, nothing's changed.
nothing's changed.
I get a motion, a resolution to accept the fee schedule as listed below.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes.
That didn't change either. From
Where are we at?
Previous years,
The public meeting?
public conduct meeting,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. Can I get a motion
is
to,
that consistent with what
Is on the board?
we have over here? I was just checking to see that there are not some inconsistencies.
Maybe we should redo the board.
yeah. Everybody see it?
Sign-in sheet if provided. Raise your hand, recognize by the chair.
Name,
Name and
address,
address.
just the board, not individual members.
Must be related to town business.
Discussion between the speaker and the attorneys.
Placards, banners, and signs are not allowed.
Yeah, we got. Last meeting that law was broke. We cut it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what
I said the last meeting that
Sorry.
rule was broke
Yes, very much so.
by
Which
Karen
one?
Haas, the one with no flyers or anything. She was apparently handing out
She was handing out
flyers to everybody that came in,
Um,
the top 10 or the 10 reasons or whatever she had.
Well, I was talking about the individuals, the speakers and the attendees.
Yeah,
That,
talking,
yeah,
Yeah.
amongst them.
that always happens.
I know, but we
We need
really
this,
need
yeah.
to clean it up.
So where?
I don't
it says
see-
flyers, where I'm looking, I must be.
It says
overlooking.
banners, flyers, and,
No, the distribution flyers, see it, it's right.
Placards, banners, or other signs are not permitted,
paragraph before the last one.
Right.
nor the distribution of flyers.
Waiting for
Down
somebody
here.
to show up with an F Biden t-shirt on. I mean, trust me, I agree, but I would not.
You wouldn't wear one
legally, I
to the
would
town board
not
member? Let me see,
Nor-
Charlie, let me see, Charlie, no, you're
Nor,
good.
nor would I put a sign up across from a church.
I
Yeah.
guess we
It
just have
indicates
to
that.
use discretion with some of it.
Yeah.
I think they're close, everybody good, this is close enough to our sign.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that there were not discrepancies.
So I didn't see where anything applied to me on.
You're in a class of your own. Bud.
You're in a class,
We-
see, you're on a committee, so that doesn't matter, so
That's right, too, right?
you have the committee, you always
So does that still?
hold
limit
your
me?
time to be used later.
Excuse me, Frank, you didn't raise your hand.
Oh.
Kaboom! Drop the hammer.
So.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Yeah.
And where do you live?
Yeah, okay. Clyde Springer from Dallas, Texas. No, so that's what I want to ask you, I'm gonna interrupt this a minute, because I did use my 3 minutes at the last meeting, so do I carry that over?
I've got a list right here, so like if you only use
No.
2.5, you get 30 seconds. to
Okay,
get that out.
but I
Because a
got,
lot of times you go
I
over.
got that 3 minutes from the last meeting, so I got 6 minutes in
Right,
January.
yeah,
Oh, you're
So I'll
good.
make that motion. that
okay.
we,
Okay, sorry about
accept the
that, folks.
Public meeting conduct.
Somebody
Item
second?
25.
I'll second that.
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes,
Scott,
Yes,
records retention.
record retention schedule.
That's what the state,
Read all this.
that's what the state wants us to do. We've done it every year.
All right.
I'll make that motion unless you're so.
I'll
inclined to
second.
do it.
Unless you want to hear me read.
We're not gonna change what the state wants, but
Karen,
Yes.
Charlie,
yes.
Joan,
Yes,
Scott.
Yes,
Rules of procedure for town board meetings, that did not change.
that,
I'll
make
make
a
that
motion for that.
motion.
Hold it, I'm not that far.
well, I hate to get quizzed on some of these, I'm here to tell you.
Mm,
The first ones are kind of common sense in terms of procedure, but,
I've had one suggestion, I don't know, we change it here. It needs to be changed here.
Where are you?
On Rule 10, order of business, the enter an executive session at 6.
That should get flushed.
Should we put that towards the bottom?
No. No, because other towns have run into where they go into
Well-
executive session and, okay, town clerk, you can go. No, this,
What?
people want to know, because you could make a decision, or you could talk about making a decision and then come out here and make this decision, but people have to know that.
No, I'm not saying move it to the very end. I'm saying, because you're gonna wanna move it before your potential resolution, so I would suggest instead of at 6, maybe to between 13 and 14. Just, the reason being is when there's a large crowd, and we have long, lengthy executive session,
That,
which
that's
is not gonna matter anyways,
Right,
because if they're gonna
that's
wait
fine.
for us to vote,
correct.
they're gonna wait for us to vote. If what I think bothers them is if we go into executive session
Then we do. all
And then we
the
come out,
reports.
and then we do everything else, they don't think we're addressing what we talked about in executive session. If we go into executive session to discuss something, and then we come out and we vote on a resolution, it's more immediate. I don't know,
And it's fresh in our minds.
yeah, and I've had that brought up before, that why do you do it so early? I'm not saying do it after everybody's left, I'm just,
Yeah,
you
okay,
see what I'm saying?
yep. But a lot of
move it
towns want to do
to-
it at the end. when
No,
everybody
not at the
leaves.
very end, no, I don't agree with that, I think it still would need to be done
between 11 and 12?
12 and 13.
between 12 and 13.
13,
13 and 14, yeah.
Okay,
So then we're here, we're talking about old business, we're talking about new business. Then we go into executive session, and then we come out, and then we do our resolution.
That make people happier.
I think
Yeah.
that would be good. Why does it say in accordance with the New York Public Officers Law, Section 1?
Because you
that-
can only go into executive session for certain items,
Okay.
there's 7 items that you can go in.
Well, okay,
Legal,
I knew that
yeah,
one, I just
yeah.
didn't know what accordance that was.
So we're gonna move number 6, will be now be 13, and everything else will be moved up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
So Karen made that motion
I'll second that.
with that change.
With that change.
So
Karen,
that, yes,
Charlie,
oh,
Oh,
on page 14. Rule number 14. Where it says motions without debate. and it goes the third one where it says the previous question. This motion is used to close debate, or should that just be closed debate?
I would say close, right?
Should be if there's a resolution made and they
If you
can
close the debate.
Second.
maybe-
So take out the D and close.
You agree, Lisa?
Yes,
Okay, and same paragraph, shall, without a second, the presiding officer, then ask the town board members, shall debate be closed and the question now be put, question mark, be put where?
I think put is
Yes, that's a, they're not.
That is a legal term?
Yes,
Yes,
Okay,
it's like put,
like
it's like,
put in place. or
it's
put in.
put.
yeah.
okay,
Put
Not
it
Put
back.
a pin in it,
Yeah,
it's
okay,
kind of like that.
okay, just wanted to make sure.
this reminds me of my good old days on the planning board with Susie.
Oh, does
I've been
it?
burned.
okay, so with those two changes,
Right,
who else said, Karen said yes, Charlie said yes, Joan said yes, and Scott said yes.
Yes,
Okay, now,
yeah.
okay. Can I get a resolution? I'll have a copy of the sick time for employee A, B, C, and D. I get a motion to accept these sick hours and sick days, with the exception on D. For starting, the sick hours should be 970.
365.
No, on the top, I'm saying starting, and then on the bottom, it should be 965.
They got something different.
No. Just that
Right?
it's 965.
965, okay.
It's 965.
965 for the, instead of the 941, it should be 965.
I'll make that one.
And that is ending
Ending
12,
12,
31, 22.
12, 31, 12, 21, 32.
Right. So January 1, it gets
It
reloaded.
gets reloaded, and then this will be reloaded, and the bookkeeper will be able to track that. Goes
Right,
on.
hopefully I'll get
It will
this,
be on the
Right.
employee's paychecks
Paychecks.
and
yes,
take out a lot of controversy and questions and
yes.
We've been through here.
and they are.
Who made it?
I'll make that motion.
They care about it.
Did you make it?
Oh, Karen,
I'll second it.
And here you go.
Karen,
Yes,
Charlie,
Yes,
Joan.
Yes,
Scott.
Yes, that's,
That's it.
privilege of the floor.
I'm all set.
Motions to love the day. Procedure and ordinances.
So you got an easy week ahead of you, maybe.
I'll take it.
Already, we whizzed right through that.
You will too, won't you?
It's the same as last year, except
Well,
for the D under closed.
I'd like to
As always.
just briefly discuss motions without debate
oh,
for a moment. So there's been a couple of instances in 2022 where things have been settled. Then questions were asked either in passing or in the parking lot why a certain board member voted a certain way. That's gotta end. That's not even legal or morally right. So that needs to be either documented somewhere or something be done about it. Because this is a democracy. We vote the way we want to vote, right? Wrong, right, or indifferent, we're still in a democracy. We can't be forcing our own will upon the people or intend to
especially on town.
be dissatisfied with the outcome of something and questioning. Putting a person on the spot to the point where tempers flare and things come up, that should never happen at a board meeting, period. I can see maybe some participants in the audience have a disagreement, hey, you nicked my car when you opened your door, that's something different. But I think as a board, we sit up here and we vote on things. We don't always agree, but we need to make sure we can agree to disagree and leave as professional people and move on.
That wouldn't fall under this, because this is just
Well, it's
motions that,
motion
Are not
without debate
available.
is
that
should fall
would fall more under
in conductivity. I guess.
conduct or.
Right.
Maybe it's just a
Okay.
reminder
Yeah.
for board members that we need to be respectful of one another.
Okay.
I don't know,
Wanna bring that
that's
up
gotta be
because
addressed somewhere, I would think, in the town law book under,
I was thinking the employee.
Either
handbook.
that or the
Or the
employee
employee
handbook is in
handbook.
there.
should be in there, but.
Yeah,
No,
they
that's-
handbook anyway, so that should be, we can address that.
I'm just thinking for the future.
Mhm.
I mean, it could get ugly real fast and then won't be good. And this person, the outcome would not be good. So,
Anybody else?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
I-
Really good.
All right,